Hey, LKR, King of D&D Homebrew here, and as you can see by my title, and as I'm sure you've heard in the last day, Wizards of the Coast has completely retreated from their plans to alter the open gaming license, and in fact have promised to put the 5.1 open license on Creative Commons, which they've done actually. They released it and the statement and did it, which means it's done. They have put this on the open license. They promised not to change the old one. And as we saw from this controversy, many legal experts said they really couldn't deauthorize it unless you signed something. Or again, I'm not a legal expert, but to me, after seeing this happen, who 3 months ago would have said, "Oh, you know what Wizards of the Coast is going to do with their new, creative license and their new version 6 or whatever you want to call it, or 1 D&D? They're going to put it on the Creative Commons." You think so? No, I wouldn't have thought so, and yet they just did. And of course, Paizo is going forward with their open RPG Commons license, the ORC thing. They've got 1,500 publishers who've signed on. We'll see. We'll also see what happens with the various people like Matt Colville or Cobalt Press or other YouTube creators who've promised to have their own tabletop role-playing systems soon. And I'm looking forward to, as I said in my last video, I will buy those. Matt Colville, sure, I'll buy a system. Cobalt Press, why not? I've got so many systems that I've never played. But I'm all for that. Which brings up to me four things that I've learned, I guess, or came to me from this controversy. Again, it's great that it turned out the way it is. Fingers crossed. I know a lot of people out there don't trust Wizards or Hasbro. But the four things for me, the first thing is the power of the community, or power of, don't mess with smart people type thing, right? Because smart people, when you grow up that way, you're a D&D player, you're smart. You know what it's like to get picked on a little bit for what you do, and you're going to defend that. And that's what people did. They said, hey, even people that never buy third-party materials, they don't know anything about this, they don't care necessarily. A lot of people just said, screw that, I'm not buying any more of these games, these corporate greed mongers, screw it, right? And the other thing that I learned in that same category is the number of voices out there. I got comments from people all over the spectrum, and that's another thing. There were people that, kind of support. They said, hey, if Wizards of the Coast wants to do that, they were a company, whatever, and I said to those people in my comments back, sure, I get it. Business is business. They could do it, but we could be mad about it. If you don't like the way a business is operating, you don't go there, or you don't buy their products, right? And the diversity of opinion on it was really cool, because it takes all kinds of people to make up the world and to make up a community. We think we're all united with gaming, just like you go to someone's game and they have house rules or whatever on D&D and you don't like them, or you do like them, or you say, oh, that's a good one, or the style of play, all that's different voices, different people. The second thing to me was the number of different systems. I got so many comments with systems that I'd never heard of. I'm downloading the ones that are available on PDF. I just bought the last Pathfinder at my local game store. They've been out now. They have an 8-month supply they ran out of. I'm also going to do Dungeon Crawl Classics. I'm determined to find people to not just roll up the guys and, I want to play these games. I want to find people that want to play them. My friend Daniel Norton at Bandits Keep, he's an expert on some of these alternative systems, and I'm determined to play some games with him. And I think this has just been such a great, diffusion of this knowledge of these games. It isn't all just D&D. It isn't all just 5e even. There's different variations. There's different games. And it came out of the sense of, well, if these guys are going to be jerks, if these guys are going to be greedy, what else can we do? How can we, continue to do what we love to do, which is play tabletop role-playing games? Well, guess what? There's tons of people out there making really interesting systems. And I don't think this is going to change, that interest, once it's out, once the genie's out of the bag. Sure, there's going to be people that only think D&D is 5e or the 1 D&D. But again, that's why Paizo is sticking to that license, sticking to their guns, because they see an opportunity here. I think the third thing this has done is, given all of us a sense of what the OGL is, what exactly it covers, what the actions that Wizards of the Coast was proposing to take, why they were so harmful to third-party content creators. I don't know how many times I listen to various lawyers and stuff on this case, and, you get, as with all lawyers, you get different views. It has to go to court. We don't really know what's going to happen, whatnot. There was the one guy that drew up the original OGL that said they can't deauthorize it. Paizo's been saying that for years, but then they were coming up with their own open license. Just how the idea that people can create this and promote the game, and that Wizards was getting greedy by saying, hey, wait a minute, as I heard from, commenters, look, this is their product. They want to monetize this. They want to monetize that. Why should people have this right to do this? Well, because it spreads the game. Because it promotes the idea that, and it promotes business, right? It promotes people that want to take their ideas, put them together in a PDF or whatever, or a hardcover book. They want to put a Kickstarter together to promote their ideas. And this shared game that we all play, we know the rules. We understand what these third-party products mean and what they bring to a game. And you may say, I like this, I don't like that, or whatever. And you really got a sense of there's this underpinning, this open game license behind it allows all these people to do this. And as I said to people that in their comments said, hey, what do I care about this? Or you guys you're making this all up just to get views and this and that. And it's like, I know these people. I went into this whole thing because I got some comments from people saying, hey man, you're promoting Wizards of the Coast with your channel because I'm talking about 5e and a campaign. And I was like, well, I just have this little channel. I'm just totally system agnostic. Yeah, I play 5e, but I play other things, and I try to have ideas that are go all over the spectrum, just general world building, blah blah blah. But I also know third-party creators. I'm friends with them, right? Who this is their livelihood, and they're really creative and they're really dedicated to the game. They're good people, right? And so when you know people like that, and they're in business, and their business is threatened. I don't like to get on the soapbox because I know I'm going to get grief. It's one thing to say, I don't like the way you build a city. I build a city this way in my D&D campaign. Okay. It's another to have people say, like some of the comments I got, and I left them all up. I didn't like them all or whatever, but I left them up because I thought, well, that's what people think. Because as I said in my earlier video, Wizards of the Coast, has a huge market share. I had seen a Roll20 thing that was 80%, and someone said, hey, that's not really accurate. Let's say it's 50%. I don't know what it truly is. Everybody keeps their numbers secret, but it's a big percentage, right? And these third-party people, if they want their stuff to have as wide a range as possible, they're gonna go with 5e or the new 1D&D or whatever because they want to have a big market share, right? They want to have a fan base that's going to buy their stuff. And Wizards of the Coast, by the way, this Beatdown. Which it was, believe me, the executives did not want to do this, but they did because they want to maintain that market share. Paizo selling out 8 months of their supply, that scared the heck out of them. And high-level people at Hasbro were like, we have to squash this right now. Just give these geeks what they want, right? Because they know that third-party content is going to continue to flow their way. And it's going to continue to, people are going to continue to play their game, and they're going to move into this, whatever they have plans for this virtual tabletop, which again, still open, according to what I've seen, this is wide open in terms of the OGL, but they want to continue that market share, right? So the creators, those third-party creators, they're going to continue to produce for this. People are going to continue to play 5e. I had said earlier in my last video, do not spend any money, spend it on third-party content and we're all going to be watching them closely, which they know. And in any sign that they're going to, try to deauthorize the old one or they're up to some tricks, people are going to jump all over them. But it looks like, from what I've seen, that they can't do that. So there's some really interesting things that have come out of this. And all I can say is, as I always do, if you like my channel, subscribe to it, leave some comments, tell me what you think about this, whether you trust Wizards of the Coast. And the final thing is to keep playing D&D, whichever version you want. And the number 4 thing that I have taken out of this whole controversy is, as of this moment, I never have to talk about this again.